Hello and welcome back to your South King County Real Estate Update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I am here to deliver your weekly real estate news for the South King County area. I'll go ahead and jump right into the slides. All right, so today is March 25th. So we are almost done with the first quarter of the year already. I can't believe how fast this year is going by. So what happened this week? The biggest news in real estate is what is going on with interest rates. We focused heavily on interest rates last week because the Fed had raised the key rate a quarter point. We were at one point expecting them to raise it half point, but they, with everything that's going on in the Russia-Ukraine situation, raising gas prices, like all of this, they decided to only raise it a quarter point, which there's a lot of debate whether that was the right move or not, but it is good for interest rates that they didn't raise it a half point. But one thing that you may start to see if you're following the market is some properties go pending and come back on the market. When interest rates are rising really fast like this, people will get pre-qualified or get pre-approved for a certain loan amount based on the current rates and statistics and everything. So, for example, say somebody got approved for $500,000, but then the interest rates went up. If they're pending close to their max, their new rate may put them over the top of they're not able to buy the $500,000 house anymore. So if they're pending at 490 and interest rates go up half a percentage point or 0.5%, then they might not qualify for that home anymore. So you may see some homes go pending and then come back to active because the buyer's financing has failed. So this is one of the reasons it is important to shop a little bit below whatever your max is, especially right now, because if you're shopping below what your max is, then you are able to bid up higher above that list price. And homes are just selling above list price right now. So make sure that you are shopping below what you are capable of purchasing, so that you can A, bid up, and B, if interest rates raise, you're not losing the deal because you don't qualify for the loan anymore. So that's just a tip for you. And jump back into these slides. So this was a report. This came from the Puget Sound Business Journal. Did your house make more money than you did last year? So there was a study done by Zillow Group, and they looked at 38 metro areas. And in 25 of those 38, home values grew more than the median income. So there's a lot of people that are gaining more wealth through their house than through their job. San Jose, California, the typical home values increased by $230,000 in 2021, nearly the same amount an oral surgeon makes in that market annually. So you can see that the homes are just raising so much faster than pay for people's jobs. This is really making it challenging for first-time buyers saving for a down payment. There are, in Washington State, we do have the Washington State Bond Program, so that can help people who are great renters but don't have that down payment saved up get into a home and start building their equity. That's a great program. So if you're interested, reach out and I'll let you know more about that. The rental housing market is changing significantly. There is a 16% national raise in rent prices for past year. So this is a chart. If you come along here, you'll see Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue. I pulled those numbers out for you here. In our metro area, growth of home values was twice that of the average pre-tax income. Rents, they went up about $3,816 a year on average, and that equals $318 additional per month that people are paying for rent. Duke Realty is set to begin work on a 12-acre Kent project. So Duke Realty is a developer, and they have purchased a lot of properties in South King County. The Kent property is quite a large property. They also got a couple others in the area, the Lazy Boy and Cubes at DuPont. So they are building a huge industrial complex, 40-foot clear height, 26 dock doors, 34 trailer stalls, and parking for more than 260 cars. So this, I know, is not directly residential real estate, but just seeing the Kent, like with Blue Origin coming here, there's so many companies that are getting rental space in the Kent Renton area because the rent is so much cheaper here than in Seattle or Bellevue. So there's a lot of companies that are renting this space further out. Plus, their employees can work closer to home because they can afford houses in Kent where they might not be able to afford them in Bellevue. So this is a really great thing all around. And home values, having all this development coming to Kent is only going to do great things for home values because people will want to live close to where they work. The more people that work in the area, then the more demand for the houses in the area. And there you go. So this is something to keep an eye on. And that brings us to our Market Stat Minute. We had 772 new listings, 903 pendings, and 725 solds in King County in the last 7 days. So you can see our pendings are still outpacing our new listings. And we honestly, the pendings and new listings have ticked slightly up in pendings, but we're pretty much flat on new listings. Those are pretty similar to where we were last week. And if we break it down to our individual markets, Renton, Auburn, and Federal Way more so, the new listings compared to the pendings, there's fewer new listings compared to pendings, especially in Auburn and Federal Way. Auburn and Federal Way this week is possibly more competitive than Renton and Kent. Renton still has more pendings than new listings, but Kent actually has 49 new listings and 47 pending. So pretty neck and neck there, but it did tip the scale on the other direction. So Kent may be a little bit, or maybe a few more options in Kent available this week compared to other places. And last week, our 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 4.16. This week, we have jumped for the weekly average mortgage rate. So this is a Monday, Tuesday comparison. We jumped to 4.42. So pretty big jump for a single week. Home prices are up 15% year over year, as much as 30% in some cities, which we're up in the high 20s to 30% in most of our area. We're still having a lack of supply available, driving those prices higher. Inflation is still on the rise and shot up 10% last month from a year earlier. So this is what the Fed is trying to get under control, is this inflation rate, which is why they are messing with that key rate. And if we bring it to today's rates, hold your horses. You might want to sit down for this one because we are at 4.95. We have not been this high since 2019. It's been a while. And this happened fast. It's a little bit shocking how fast this all happened, but this is a trend that I think we'll possibly see continue. But stay tuned for next week. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. I wish I had had time to get into this today, but there may be some lower rates on the horizon, not in the very near future, but maybe the end of the year, rates will possibly come down because we are starting to see some of the key indicators of a recession. So make sure to tune in next week as I dig into this recession piece and let you know what's going on there. Don't freak out too much. We've seen worse. And just a reminder, I do have my spring 2022 buyer and seller guides available. So if you are thinking about buying or selling a home this year, please reach out. And I would love to send you a copy of these resources. There's just so much information jam-packed into these little booklets, and it can really set you up on the right foot for your home search or sale. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you about the real estate market in your specific area, or an area that you might be interested in moving to. So let me know and let's chat. That's all I got for you today. So I will sign off, but thank you so much for joining me for your South King County real estate update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, signing off. See you next Friday at 3.